Sorry, I can't hear you.
Like a bar graph.
Okay, so the thing about a graph, I'm just trying to clarify so everybody knows what you're trying to communicate, right? If I have an x, y coordinate, and you plot this point, and then you plot that point, and then you plot that point, and then you connect them together, that's what you're seeing, right? So you're plotting points, which is to say somebody is doing some kind of a logistical statistic analysis, right? So you could say this has to do with statistics and plotting statistics, right? So maybe like a recording of some kind. And a recording, if it has to do with frequencies or vibration, that might be like a musical recording, but or like we have these graphic equalizers, right? Like for music. So it's that. So in other words, it's some sort of a digital analysis, you might even say. Any other concepts come to mind when you see this? A sawtooth. Okay, so that being a pictorial association, because a sawtooth looks like that shape, what are the connotations of an action, say, does that sawtooth design bring to your mind?
Cutting.
Cutting? What else? Anybody? If somebody says, boy, that's a sawtooth, what do you think? Cutting and anything else?
Sharp.
Cutting, sharp? Okay, I'm gonna show you another shape. What if I drew this?
Can you stay away from the sunlight?
You want me to stay away from the sunlight?
Yeah. Like.
We'll have to change that. Okay, what if I drew this shape? What is that? Beaver teeth. Anything else?
Road.
Oh,
Road.
a road?
With a center line.
I can't distinguish what you're saying. A road with a center line, a highway with a center line. Okay, so this is like going one direction, this is going the other direction, is what you're saying.
That's pretty good.
Divided highway.
Pitchfork.
Pitchfork? So you're saying if this had a handle down here, here's a pitchfork.
Two doors. Two doors.
Two doors.
Doors.
Book. Open book.
2 rooms.
What was the last one?
2 rooms.
2 rooms. Okay, what if I drew it like this? What does that make you think of?
Snake.
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 A snake?
River. A lake.
A snake, a river,
A lake.
a lake,
A Lego hand.
Lego hand?
Yes.
Lost me on that one.
A Muppet hand.
What was that? I heard somebody say something else.
Muppet hand.
A Muppet hand.
No, Jeremiah, did you have something to say?
Well, she hit my hat off my head.
No, but did you have something that you saw in this shape? I thought maybe that's why she hit your hat, because you
No,
saw
I said it to him. It was breast.
breast. Okay, we're going to write that one down.
You're not the only one.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, come on. Somebody afraid to say that? Okay, now here. What if you take all these concepts together, what I would call synthesizing, right? You're taking 20 different words, and I want you to come up with a little small sentence that incorporates the gist of all those things. What would you come up with?
Creation.
Creation? How so?
Well, somebody created the tools. You got the snakes. You got the woman. You got teeth.
So are you saying that it reminds you of the Garden of Eden story?
I guess so, creating.
The woman, the snake, the teeth,
Yeah.
you know, biting into the apple. Okay, so it reminds me of a Garden of Eden story. So here, just say,
Holy moly. I'm sitting here looking like 5 of them right now. Wow.
what do you see? What are you saying?
I was sitting there like putting like 4 or 5 possibilities together. I'm sitting here like, wow.
So what do you get out of this? What do you come up? Even if it's 4 different things, I'm just saying, how do we pull all these together?
When y'all talked about the snake, the teeth, and the bite, and I'm looking at the snake, the heartbeat, the graph, and over on this side the divided highway, or also the biting, and it's come up to the same conclusion.
Of what? The Garden of Eden story?
Yes. That's
Okay.
why I was like, oh my goodness.
Well, there you go. And you guys didn't even confer and plan on that. Okay, well, yeah.
I see a graph, a woman goes into the clinic through them last ones. And they're cutting with them sawtooth right there.
Kind of a jagged cut.
Came out the
The woman going into the clinic and getting cut.
Well, she's first the graph because, you know, she sees, okay, well, this is going to be your life afterwards. So she says, I agree. She goes through them doors.
How do you put up with this guy? Sorry, I had to take the cheap shot there, Alex.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
With all but probably 2 or 3 of the words that came out, I'm seeing repetitive theme of 2.
Okay, Garden of Eden, and then there's this concept of 2.
2.
Teeth and snake?
I mean, everything
Oh,
is
the
2.
numbers.
2.
I got you.
Okay, let me ask you this, just so I don't miss what you were saying. So a woman goes into the clinic and then gets put to the saw,
Yes.
cut in half like the magic show where they...
No, she gets modified.
She
Modified,
She
swift.
gets an enhancements. And that's the end product over there.
That's all I can come up with.
I'm trying to think of how to write this down.
Well, hey.
Cosmetic surgery.
Plastic surgery.
Cosmetic surgery.
There you go.
Very nice.
You know, here's a good example. He used a whole bunch of words. I was trying to translate it, and you guys finally came up with the right translation. What he's saying is cosmetic surgery.
It's almost like the group becomes one brain, basically.
Well, the thing is, it's like, I wished I wasn't trying to castle him. I was trying to understand what he was saying, and I was having a hard time. That's how translations work, exactly like that. Somebody says something, that's the original scripture. Somebody else tries to put it into their language so they understand what that original scripture is saying, and somebody else goes, what, are you crazy? This is what it says. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. And pretty soon you end up with a paraphrase quite a few generations of translation later, and it's not that any of them are wrong, but the real question is, what did he say? What did Yahuwah say, and what did he mean by saying it? In this little thing here, we're just only going to do a couple more of these, but this, I want to give you the experience of what a translator is dealing with. And this is exactly it. You guys did really good with that. Does anybody else have anything to add to this particular one? Yep.
Snake bites in the beginning of the book.
Snake bite. Cosmetic surgery.
Oh, you're talking about this one.
Snake
You're talking about the same one, the pitchfork or whatever, and the other.
Okay.
And the other one you're talking about, the whole thing?
Well, the whole
All
thing.
3 together.
Putting them all together.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it goes right back to the original.
The shiny.
Okay. Now I'm gonna do another one here.
Eric,
Yes.
I don't want to in any way break what you're doing,
Yep.
but just for the witness, I've seen this, the effect of this witness have on people that are new, and knowing how many people here are new. Can you segue where you're going into the pictographic meaning of the Hebrew of the Messiah's name? Can you segue into that with what you're doing?
Not just yet,
Okay,
but eventually.
okay.
Okay, here's another one. Okay, what do you get out of that?
Half-eaten cookie.
Half-eaten cookie. Oscar. Who's the grouch? Okay, anything else?
Wait.
Roach. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Tulip.
A tulip? What else?
Footprints.
Waves?
Shark cruising through the water.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Waves, a shark,
You need to repeat it.
Roach.
a brooch? What do you mean a brooch?
Hair brooch. Like old lady wear. Hey, look, I'm not politically correct if you hadn't figured it out yet, okay?
You got one that looks like that? Is that what you're saying?
No, my grandmother did.
Non-PC tabernacle.
Huh?
I said the non-PC tabernacle. We had, what did you say?
Footprint.
Footprint. How's that a footprint? What are you seeing?
Paw print.
Yeah, paw print. Not human.
Explain. I'm not seeing that. Can you tell me?
Like a bear paw. A paw print. It's not really a footprint. Like a cat.
Oh. So if you're saying like if this was connected here, then
Yeah.
you see toes.
It's like something that would be left in the ground, like after rain. Like
Okay.
partial.
The black
Okay.
gloves they show us as kids is psychotic. Oh, I'm not the one. Oh, I'm
What?
sorry.
Anything else? Okay. What about this thing?
I get the same thing. Water. Wave.
Heart rate monitors.
Yeah.
Heart rate.
And that heart monitor keeps some of that stuff.
Sinus rhythm.
That looks like normal sinus rhythm for anybody who wants
It looks like what?
normal sinus rhythm. If it had a long one, that would be an abnormal.
Anything else?
Repetition.
Birds. Repetition. How about anything else?
The constellation Cassiopeia.
That's good.
Okay, just for what it's worth, what does that constellation? What is that a picture of?
I'm not sure. I just remember
Isn't it
finding it when I
isn't
was
it the lady looking in a mirror that's waiting for her husband? Isn't that what Cassiopeia means?
I don't know.
Isn't it? The lady preparing herself? I'm guessing it's the queen, isn't it? Isn't Cassiopeia?
I don't know.
That
That's
sounds
just
right.
what it looks like in the sky.
I'm going to write that down. I might be wrong, but I'll just say I've got a book that'll tell it back in my suitcase. But we can look it up later. I think it's the queen or the lady preparing.
Lady in waiting or whatever.
Preparing. I think she's looking in a mirror or something like that, and she's like getting herself all fixed up. So I think. But anyway, anything else?
You're correct. You're correct.
Oh, I am. Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Anybody else get any other chaos?
Order.
Which would say that's kind of like turbulence, right?
I see order.
Order? Are you one of those Illuminati guys, order out of chaos? Or?
No. No, if you saw my bookcase, you would absolutely agree that I'm anti any kind of secret anything.
Okay. So if this, by order then, do you mean making something evident and not secret?
I mean it's consistent. The lines are consistent, the length, the angles, they're all consistent even though they're repetitious. They're in order.
Okay. Okay, just real quick, anybody else have anything else to add to this?
Life.
Life? Okay, now, put everything together and what do you come up with?
Rhythm.
Rhythm?
Rhythm.
Okay, we got this here, we got rhythm.
Okay, yeah.
Any, well, that's okay, but what you're saying is you take all these things together and that word pretty well best describes it, but does anybody else have anything else that you could put together with this letter?
Sign. A
Sign?
A sign.
How does sign compare to rhythm?
Walk, maybe walk.
Walk?
Walk.
W-A-L-K?
Yeah.
You walk in a rhythm, huh?
All consistently.
A consistent walk.
There you go.
Two S's.
E-N-T, A-N-T, consistent
good.
walk. Okay, anything else?
Peaks and valleys.
That was, Stephen said that on the other one, but a consistent walk, throughout, wherever, right? Ups and downs, peaks and valleys. Any other concept regarding, yes. Motion and pressure.
Gravity.
Motion and pressure. Okay, so you basically have an idea of to persist through these ups and downs, things happening, forces, but so it's this turbulent action, but a persistent progression,
Perseverance.
a perseverance. So actually, does that word perseverance pretty well pick up everything that we've talked about if you're going to reduce it down to something? You think? Okay. Try to remember the accumulation of all these things, even though I'm erasing them, and that just the conclusion here. You'll notice if I just said the word perseverance in English, the word perseverance, would you think of all these other 20 things we had written here? But you do have a picture of perseverance with perseverance. And that word perseverance gives you this idea, but the idea is kind of shallow and hollow compared to if you got these other 20 things, right? That's what these two ladies were trying to express, I believe, to a certain degree, right? Would you agree there, Tiffany? Is that kind of what you're experiencing, you think? Or do you have a better way to say it?
I don't know if I'd explain it as perseverance. I'd explain it more of wanting a better relationship with the Creator.
Okay, so you just took this to a whole other level.
Not knowing His words and not knowing what He says, even though it rings through the English, I wanted the underlying level.
Okay.
I wanted to know the truth of this.
But so what I'm asking you though is how does this one word perseverance compare to seeing the 20 words we wrote down? Is that the kind of thing you're talking about feeling, like seeing, where the English takes you this far and then breaking it down? So we're just looking at English words, but when you have 20 English words versus one English word, is that some kind of a model of what you're describing?
More than likely.
Or
Okay.
continuity in or the constitution of something in that it's so much of this and so much of that in its construction, continuity, or the volume being whether you're half full or half empty, but you're consistently persevering for the construction is the way I feel like I'm getting it, because I'm new at it. But it's just, for me, it's just like what she says. It is coming alive. So I'm gonna pursue it because I want more of it.
Okay, so if you were going to take what we just went through with this letter I put up in the blue, that's almost saying what you're just describing. At least in my mind, of taking these 20 letters. Okay, here's another one. Okay, what does that make you think of?
Eyeball.
Hurricane.
What else?
Atom.
A what?
Atom.
Atom?
AT.
Right.
I was gonna say the orbit anyway.
An
That's
orbit?
basically, yeah, orbit, I mean, but atom and orbit pretty much go together.
Okay.
Galaxy, because the middle is the sun and the rest Love it.
Okay, a galaxy, which is a picture of that which has things like planets orbiting around it.
Yeah.
Macro, microcosm.
Macro, micro.
Yeah, right. That's what you're.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Where's Jeremiah? He's trying to escape. Jeremiah! Oh well. Anybody else?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
What else? What other ideas do you get from this picture?
Ovary.
Nucleus, cell nucleus.
Seed or seed.
Well, that's a picture of basically a seed in a fruit, right?
Okay.
Seed in a fruit.
Open mem. That's what it reminds me of actually.
What's that?
An open mem.
An open mem. So we'll call that
Looks like
an
pupil,
open
An
womb.
eye with a
Yeah,
pupil.
open one. That's good.
Anything else?
Looks like an eye with a pupil.
Yeah.
You got that
That's what he
right.
got. Eyeball with a pupil. Okay. Anything else?
Man, that's a lot of stuff.
No. Okay. If you're going to put all these things together and come up with a reduction, synopsis, you might say, of the whole thing, what do you come up with?
Life.
It's a picture of life. What else?
Genesis.
Genesis,
Vision.
vision.
Alpha and Omega.
How do you get alpha and omega?
I don't know.
Who was saying that?
I just thought of that.
Oh, okay, but I'm just saying, it's okay if it pops into your mind, but I'm asking if you can explain it so that somebody could follow your track of
I
thought.
kind of heard like words life in Genesis, so I kind of thought Alpha and Omega.
Okay, so just so you see where my mind goes to when you say that, alpha and omega is the Greek terms for the first letter and the last letter of the alphabet. So if alpha is the first letter, which is one in singular, that's kind of like this dot. And then if you were to say, well, the last letter, like you have book covers in a book, and when you get to the last cover of the book, you've already progressed through the whole rest of the book, right? So it's like, here's the alpha, and if you were to spin this out of here, like a galaxy, by the time you get to the whole circuit and come out here, there's the omega, as it were, and there's the alpha there. So that's kind of the initiation and the full gamut to the conclusion, which is a picture of what you're saying, right? Okay, so that's, I'm trying to understand why your mind picked up that concept out of that graphic imagery. And I'm putting it in my own words. And if you're saying that's what you're saying, okay, then that's, see, it's one thing for somebody to speak. When somebody's up front speaking and the audience can't understand, whose fault is it? It's like, well, the audience is just too stupid to know what the speaker's trying to say. No, the speaker has failed to communicate. Is it the speaker's job and burden to make sure the audience hears? Well, it's actually both. It's a collaborative effort for the audience to say, what are you saying? So I'm trying to not put my words in your mouth. I'm trying to hear what you're trying to communicate. I once talked to somebody who said they wanted to be a YouTube videographer. They wanted to put YouTube videos up. It's like, that's a communicator. It says, well, what do you have to say? And the guy says, nothing. I got nothing to say. I was blah, 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 blah. That's what it's like to put up a YouTube video or to speak or to play music that has no sound. You got nothing to say, but you want to get everybody's attention and say, hey, listen to me. What? If Yahweh speaks and we can't hear what he's saying, it's just that stupid. And whose fault is it? You think he didn't speak clear? Or is it just us not paying attention? Or us not wanting to hear? All through the scripture, Yahweh castigates, reprimands his people for not listening. He gets mad at his people for saying, what else can I do? You want me to speak louder? No. Want me to speak clearer? How clear does it have to be? And he keeps telling us, listen, listen, listen. And if you listen, in Hebrew it also carries with it to understand believe, and then put it into action. If somebody said, a car's coming, don't stand there. Yeah. Do you believe me? Yeah, I believe you. But you stay standing there. Yeah. Wham! They get run over by the car. It's like, well, either you're going to listen and respond because you get it, or you didn't really believe, or you just, maybe you wanted the car to hit you. Yes.
Balaam in his ass.
Who?
Balaam in his ass. Balaam in his ass.
And what? How do you bring Balaam's ass into the equation?
Because he was trying to tell Balaam which way to go, and he wasn't following it. It was Yah that put it on the donkey, and he wasn't following it, and he almost got killed by an angel. Basically what you were.
Well, so the donkey there, Balaam's ass, was responding to something that he saw, and he was running off the road so as not to progress. And Balaam was saying, I don't understand the language. I don't understand the communication. I think my donkey is just being a stupid jerk, so I'm going to take out my stick and beat my donkey. And then the donkey was given words, and he says, what do you hit me for? Ah, because you're just acting stupid. And the donkey says, basically, have I ever acted stupid? I have always and consistently been a faithful donkey to you. Do you think I'm really just suddenly doing something stupid now? Hey, look, I'm responding to what I see, though you can't see it. But you see, the donkey failed to communicate when all he did was respond with this jerk reaction of trying to run off the road, when there was really an angel of death standing there. Failed communication. There's something about when Yahweh speaks, if we don't get it, has he failed to communicate, or have we failed to hear?
We feel that
If we failed to hear, why? Because we don't speak his language? Let's suppose that we don't speak his language. Well, he's given us Greek scholars. They gave us the Septuagint. And then Latin priests, which gave us the
Vulgate.
Vulgate. And then he gave us Tyndale and King James and all these other guys to give us the good word written in our own language, English. Why can't we hear? What did he really say? What did Yahweh really say? Okay, hang on. I want you to do one other thing here. We're not quite done with this. Combine this word with this word. What do you get? Garden of Eden, number 2, cosmetic surgery, snake bite, with perseverance. What do you come up with?
Lost.
What?
Lost.
Lost? L-O-S-T. Could you explain that, how you come up with lost? What is it that makes you think cosmetic surgery and perseverance makes you lost?
Because the true gets lost in the cosmetic surgery and everything gets jumbled together.
Did you hear what she said? Can you hear?
Jumble.
When you get cosmetic surgery, something gets lost. It's kind of like a translation. But what has perseverance got to do with it?
Because when you try to push through and understand something, you're not getting the true effects. You're getting...
Can you hear back there?
You're a habitual violator.
When something gets modified, 2 is other than 1. There's this word that is oneness, and then when you have otherness, or along with, it's not necessarily evil, it just means other, with, among. That's what number 2 represents. It's no longer 1. And then if something gets changed, even if you push through, you could push through this change all you want trying to find the original, it sets up a conflicting dilemma, which is the same feeling you have when you're lost, if you're trying to find what the original actually was. Yes?
Going back to the Garden of Eden and the Alpha and the Omega, it's the same. We're going from the garden to the garden, basically.
So you're...
Alpha and Omega, you brought up the Alpha and Omega earlier, the beginning and the end. You got the Garden of Eden up at 12 and number 2. So
So you're